Good afternoon, ladies.
Everybody.
Good
Hello,
afternoon.
Thomas. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
It
Happy
seems like
holidays.
only
Happy
hours
Christmas
ago
Eve.
we met.
Yeah.
It was.
Have I ever met you before?
Hey, Tom. Oh, yep. Here he comes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hi,
So
Tom. Hi, Jane. Happy holidays, everybody.
I think we have the penultimate panel for the Hermit card today because I think we all share a little hermit qualities where we spend a lot of alone time.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Oh,
Yep. Very
very
much
much so these days. Yep. This is the time of year, too, for the hermit for me.
We all
Because,
look forward
it's
to-
dark longer. You don't go out as much. And,
This whole year has been a hermit year for me, amongst other things, though.
Well, I viewed the
Right.
pandemic to hone my craft as the hermit. We didn't have a lot of choice
yeah.
for self-preservation.
That's how I got
practice.
back into reading. Yep. Came across TarotTube on YouTube. I'm like, this is such a great Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm gonna have to add your subscription to the descriptions. I think I've got Heather's
Hey, Tom.
Hershey's in there.
Does Tom
I
ever
am
join
using
us?
my phone, so I can't drop the links as easy right now.
Right.
Hi, everybody. Time to say bye. Okay.
So, welcome, Jeff.
Well, thank you for having me. I love to be a part of this. So
This is a nice surprise.
And Jane, if you're still in the chat, I haven't gotten a deck yet, but I did get a book.
Woo-hoo.
So I found at the store, it's The Witch's Complete Guide to Tarot. So
Ooh, is that a
it
Barnes
might
and
be a
Noble
witch's.
book?
No, well, I
Looks
guess
like
it could
it.
be because the signs and symbol book that Hershe has been wanting, the green one, that's usually at Barnes and Noble, I found it there also.
Gotcha.
So
Very nice. So's mine. Yep. They're great books,
like,
too, at a good price.
yeah, so now I got a signs and symbols book, so it can answer a lot of the questions that I keep pondering about and wanting to ask everybody else about. Everybody probably is like, I don't know. Like, what does this mean?
What is the meaning of the universe? What is the meaning of life? Does they have that answer in there?
Well,
I know,
I
right?
think our hermit
It
card.
probably is different for everyone.
I think our hermit card gets us a little closer to where we fit into the universe in our spirituality.
Yeah.
So we'll start out with some symbolism. Our hermit, he's usually an old man, symbolizing wisdom, experience, and accumulated knowledge, self-discovery. The lantern he holds is the inner light of knowledge and enlightenment. It illuminates the hermit's path, and he can be a spiritual guide or other. Oh, I love that hermit. That's a beautiful one. Heather, what deck is that from?
This is the Mystic Palette Muted version by Ciro Marchetti, or Ciro Marchetti, however you want to pronounce his name. But yeah, that's a beautiful. And I brought this one also because it's actually a hermit that's represented by a female, which I love. And she has a crow, which is all about magic and mystery and wisdom, and that beautiful red light, which is like, reflective of the passions and the fire and the creativity, that can be experienced and expressed in hermit mode. So I had to bring that one to share too. And this one here, Thomas is the lantern with the hermit that has the star in the lantern. And what's really cool on this one too, through this deck, it's kind of hard to see, but the author puts the astrological signs associated with it, along with the Hebrew Yod. So it's the Heaven and Earth tarot deck
So,
for that one right there.
So I found Virgo associated with our hermit,
Yeah, they have. I
and
believe that's.
a planet of Mercury, which when I think of Mercury, I think of quick movement, but I think in this case it's close to the sun, so it offers enlightenment.
Jeff, do you have any Marseille or Thoth? No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
And I love the green
I
man.
don't have access to them, and I was like, I want to see them.
So that one has the green man on the door. And I love how she incorporated the door, because we have the keys. The keys are right there. The keys to knowledge, to open the door and to go through. So I like that representation too, that symbolism.
I am enjoying my retirement. I have 2 keys on my keychain now, a front door key and a mailbox key. For many years, I had the unpleasant duty of waking up early and letting people in, and then staying up late and locking people out. So the more keys you have, the more responsibility, and you're not compensated for those responsibilities, or I wasn't.
For me, the keys can represent just different avenues. What do you want to, during this hermit mode, what do you want to experience? What do you want to, learn about? And I love that when you have, sometimes too many keys are overwhelming, but at the same time, it just shows, the amount of knowledge that is out there for the learning, for the, so.
Or it could be opening yourself up, thinking you're going to get one thing, and then you get that thing, and you get multiple other things from which you learn too.
But what key opens the rabbit hole? But which branching warren are you going to go down?
Yep.
So this book that I have doesn't really break down the symbols on the card. If you don't mind, I'll read just what it says. It just says, standing alone with the lantern, or a lantern, the hermit appears in readings to let us know there are opportunities available to receive wisdom from the spirit world or the divine. This card reminds us that goals are attainable for those willing to put in the time and energy, but the journey isn't always going to be smooth or simple. It's a card of contemplation and inner reflection, prompting us to seek out answers where we once had only questions. The hermit often represents opportunities for guidance, new journeys, or self-discovery and meditative self-evaluation. A reversed hermit card can reveal an individual unwilling to listen to wisdom from reliable sources. This person will disregard the advice of elders or more knowledgeable people simply because they're not interested in learning from any experience other than their own. In particular, this card is a sign that you're self-isolating too much. Take time to enjoy your solitude, but don't let yourself push away those who care about you. Hold space for yourself, but be mindful of letting others in. So I'm not sure if that's kind of a standard reading for it.
It is.
But that's okay.
I would say so, yeah.
Still new for those like me, but it doesn't break down the symbols. That's all it really gives me. So I definitely need to get another kind of book in regards to tarot, but it's still a good start.
I gotta get you a copy of that dictionary as well.
Yeah. I'll put that on my list.
So he leans on a staff, and the staff says that it's a symbol of his authority and support, that the world is going to support him on his journey of self-discovery. And his journey is the path of self-enlightenment. The mountain that he's on top of, or usually in the background, represents the challenges and obstacles inherent to the journey to pursue enlightenment. Effort is required. It's not going to be handed to you. You've got to put in the time and the work. And that's maybe why our hermit has gone into self-isolation, is he works best alone and uninterrupted.
Or to avoid the distractions of the world, the minute distractions too, just
Absolutely.
the things that don't matter.
Right. Tom, yeah,
Jane said
I know. I just try to hold up a Thoth or in a Marseille, just so they're all comparable on screen. I know the girls don't have one, so I was asking if Jeff had one by chance. So,
Let's see. I've got a Toth somewhere.
And
yeah,
Jane
I love.
shared that she goes, I sleep with a key under my pillow.
I sleep one
That's
inside my pillowcase, like it's got a
That's
zipper
interesting.
that goes on the end of it. It's like a silk or satin pillowcase, and I stick it inside and I zip it up in there, and I don't have to worry about it falling out.
And for this hermit card, what I loved from the Tarot de Louis,
Absolutely,
of
Jane.
course, she's a female. Absolutely, again, a crow, and she's got a beautiful crow on her staff. And it says here, and the key phrase for this card in this deck is seeking in the light of solitude.
Uh-huh.
And it says, if you're looking for answers, I am here to tell you that you will only find them within yourself.
Right.
Boom. I love how that just jumped right out. And that was just like, wow.
I like how it said that. Like it's got some good power in it. I agree with Tom though when it comes to the symbolisms, because there's so many on the I have the Aleister Crowley version. So I'm sure that's the one Tom's kind of explaining, because it's just so busy, but there's so many patterns. There's the star, I believe the book's in there too. If you look hard enough, you'll see the book representation for the knowledge. But I know there's a star in there.
Yeah, mine has a star, and actually the staff looks like there's a snake or a dragon in this one here. And the Hebrew letter on the heaven and earth Yod represents meaning open hand.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So
interesting.
that's interesting. And it says here that
Open
the
hand,
Hierophant's
yeah.
lessons give input about the outside world and how to interact with it, while the hermit guides students inwards to integrate what they have learned and synthesize it into something new. And
Yep.
then they give you questions to contemplate. And the one that stands out to me the most right here is how do you process your life's patterns, as a prompt for this card. So I thought that was very interesting too.
Yes, I agree, Tom. And what is what is Jane saying there, guys? What is that?
He has the
literally not
Merkaba in his lamp.
Merkaba.
Yeah, that's the
Is that like a specific kind of star or something? Or is it an orb or something?
yeah, Jane, it represents the like
The Star of
know,
David.
yeah, the Star of David, but in more of a 3D version.
But it's a star though. Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
But I think it's
it's supposed to be a representation of the star of the Temple of Solomon or something. Wisdom.
Oh wow.
And it's associated, I think, with Michael, Metatron, or one of them. That's Metatron.
Oh, it's Metatron's. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna have to get in him and Shakina and ask him why I didn't know that, because like that doesn't seem fair.
Why are they gonna blindside you?
I didn't either.
Right.
Hershey is getting blindsided by her boys.
I've never heard it like that before, so that word seems new to me. But you know, I'll get it together eventually. I don't know everything.
And with Calepier and Reed,
I'm having
that's what it was called in the Hermit card.
This is our moon card in the Thoth.
Oh, hello, beautiful.
But I am having a dickens of a time trying to find it in here. My Hermit.
It's all right.
It's hiding very well.
So
You don't have to
Colbert
hold
Ray
up no more.
offers a nice affirmation for the Hermit, and it says, "I step back, retreat, regroup, and renew. I have a
Mhm.
clear perspective on
I
everything
see
in
it.
my life."
Thank you for showing it. I love that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That they did have beautiful artwork in that deck.
See, and you the whole background is like the star. I love it, and I love what it represents.
You see the multiple facets of one person in that too.
Yes,
Mhm.
That's
yes,
important
yes.
to that card. Yeah.
Beautiful
Absolutely.
deck, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which card was that? The
the Aleister Crowley's Thoth.
okay.
That
The
was
Hermit card in
The
that
first one
deck.
was
Hermit.
the moon, and then the second one he showed was
One definition of the Merkaba, right, that I found really quick says the type of crystal that is a vehicle for ascension. This is most commonly used by those on a highly spiritual healing path. However, anyone in touch with their soul can use a Merkaba star to raise their vibration and aid in their healing.
A Merkaba star.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is literally something I'm gonna have to look into when I get back
and it's
home
associated with
in a
Neutron
calmer,
quite a bit.
still place.
Mm-hmm.
So when we did our color representations, I said that gray and black were symbols of isolation. So the gray cloak means he's going it alone. He's isolating.
Yep, mine has that too on one of my decks. I actually can't find this. Is it gray or are you blue? Well, this one here is beautifully done too. I couldn't bring all of them, but the Star Tarot has a
Six-pointed
beautiful.
star, union of opposites, union.
So that's a beautiful representation too, and I love that the owl, his familiar is on his arm. So, but yeah, that beautiful blue gray.
So in the Rider-Waite-Smith, we don't have the six-pointed star, but the lantern, if you look at it, should be a six-sided lantern. And
This one is round.
Yeah, the union of opposites, union and balance, integrates both the light and shadow sides of the self. And then some hermits also have a hourglass depicted in them, being the passage of time and the transient nature of life. So a reminder to make the most of your time.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever in the tarot decks that I have. I don't think I've ever seen yeah, you just said it. The time.
The hourglass.
The hourglass. Thank you. Duh, man.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, he has switches and a bag of gifts, but I only got the Yuletide deck, so I have none of that. I have none of that to look on. This is not a good deck to use today.
And what I love about the Marchetti, it emphasizes the lines, his age, his wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah. You definitely see it in his face.
And there's like a
love
slight
that.
smile. And
Yeah,
so
it's
it's kind of like that
cocky
twinkle in
almost.
the eye. And I love the woods too, because going into the woods for a lot of people, that's where you connect with yourself and with nature, and you have Mother Earth there supporting you.
See, that's why you should be on screen, Tom, so you can be showing the Marseilles and the different traditional ones.
Yeah, Tom.
But it's okay. I'll suffer through one of my faves. And it's the tarot of the Ambiguities. It's the one I tried to win in the giveaway, and I didn't. But man, I love that deck. Ugh, I can only imagine what it looks like. I have to go watch a walkthrough of it now, just because he said it.
So in the traditional, it looks like he's just got shoes or boots on, but some of them are barefoot, and just connecting him to the earth and the lack of material attachments, simplicity and humanity to seek spiritual wisdom. So it's that maybe monastic life to gain that wisdom.
Yep. Yeah, none of mine show feet. Interesting.
Ooh. Ooh. That
I'm
sounds so
being diabetic. I always have socks on, and the first thing I do, I don't take a step without putting my shoes on. Just because I have to be careful of the feet.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in my one book here under reflections for the hermit, I have highlighted your solitude is an attempt to cultivate an environment of stillness in which you can illuminate the unknown aspects of yourself. So another nice passage. And this is a book that I got at Barnes and Noble, and it came with a deck of cards. And it's invaluable. It really is. Sometimes it's way too much information for me to be able to retain, but it's a great resource when you give a reading and you're like, something's missing. Something, I feel like something's missing that I'm not. I'll go grab this book and I'll look for a highlighted passage, and usually one will jump out at me. So yeah.
You're awful quiet, Jeff. Why are you
I
so
know.
quiet? How's
No,
the
I'm-
hermit make you feel?
The way it comes across to me, especially if it's reversed, and this is going to sound really strange, but when you're looking at polar opposites of things, if it's about going inward, then I think of the external, and I think of a more negative connotation to the hermit as humiliation. And I didn't necessarily know if anybody feels that way. Like if it's reversed, then you're exposed to the world, everything, and then you're like whatever you might have discovered about yourself outside or inside of yourself reversed is
That's interesting.
something maybe you didn't want other people's to know. So there's an element of secrecy to it and embarrassment if it's reversed.
In one of the things I read, it said self-flagellation, and maybe that's to that.
And here my book says, challenge yourself to sit with your discomfort for a little while and let it sink in. And this way you can start to poke and prod at it and understand where it comes from and how to banish it. So, if that type of feeling comes about, it's a discomfort, but it's meant to challenge ourselves to kind of take a look at it and see, what is causing it, what's triggering us to feel that in that particular way.
Right. And here it says, kind of like what Jeff was saying, if you find this card in reverse, you are pulling away from yourself, your guides, and your own wisdom. Stop seeking selfish solitude. It's not benefiting you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
Like this is going to be a very aggressive book.
Or you can be feeling you can be feeling sorry for yourself if it's reversed, where you're not doing enough to go inward. Like during the holidays,
I've got a lot of
for
clones,
instance,
and I don't think any
you
of
don't
them
have
say
time
you're pulling away from. Right. Yeah,
And
I
also
like it.
in here it says, has isolation warped how you view relationships, your environment, or the world in general? So too much isolation.
Yeah, that's a very
how has
big
it
one.
warped it? Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I
I
agree.
have that highlighted.
My relationships have warped my view of relationships. But I'm old and set in my ways, so not looking for anything.
And Tom said, and he is holding his staff facing to the right. So I feel a more of a movement forward after the introspection. Yes. Because it shines the light, it guides the way, and you can move forward instead of moving backwards.
Yep, this is true. All right, guys. I just wanted to pop in and say happy holidays. I love you guys. I'm with the family. You guys have a beautiful day, and I will catch everybody and the finish from here on out when I get done prepping dinner. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Bye, Hershey.
Bye, Hershey. Happy holidays.
You too. Happy
Don't forget
holidays,
to.
everybody.
Thomas will send you your homework. Don't worry.
Oh, I know. I'm not getting out of it.
Oh
I
no,
just gotta
this,
go
this
do
is
it.
Chris. We're on Christmas break. There is no homework.
Woo!
I didn't do last week's. Oops.
Bye,
Hardest
see
thing
you.
you're
Talk
gonna
to you
have to
later.
do is just digest this a little bit at a time. So, hermit figures that we see: Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, Yoda in Star Wars, Merlin in the Arthurian legends. Actual people: Mahatma Gandhi, Henry David Thoreau, and Carl Jung.
And you left out the Led Zeppelin hermit, one of the most famous hermits in the world.
We're like, ooh, not
Enlighten me.
You don't know? You never heard the band Led Zeppelin? The hermit.
No, yes.
They use?
I
That
just
guy's
never heard
Yeah,
the hermit.
Yeah, it's on one of their
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a music. I had to throw the.
No, I
hermit in
love
there.
your music. I love
my,
it. My friend would know about it.
My research sources didn't have that listed.
Your research sources. So, as with every tarot card, what it's pulled with, I mean, unless you're only doing one card, right? It's obviously going to change whatever it's paired with.
Right. This one is going to be paired with the moon today. 1 and 8 is 9.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Well, that looks just like right off the tarot card.
You're muted. You're muted still.
Yeah, Paige was. All of them were into the esoteric and mysticism, and Paige had actually bought in one of Crowley's homes. He eventually sold it, but yeah, he was big into the Thoth and Crowley and all that. So yeah, so that was their honoring, putting
An
the
inspiration.
hermits. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to hear it differently now, probably.
Okay, in numerology, like a 9 life path represents spiritual awareness, compassion in humanity, completion and wholeness, leadership and guidance, and philanthropy. I don't know. I've never had that much money.
Okay.
I don't know how philanthropy works into that.
Well, I'm sure it's like share what you have, what little you have. Not it doesn't have to be
Okay.
an abundance.
So which one are we looking at first?
We're looking at wands.
Wands, okay.
Wands, cups, swords, and pentacles.
Okay, and did we show our moon cards already, or are we saving the moon card for last?
That'll be our last one.
Last, okay. So wands.
Our little embattled soldier of duty.
Yep.
He's been through a lot, but he stands on duty, holding his ground.
I sort of have. This is from the Tarot de Louis. It's actually a female, and the look on her face says it all. It's like, I've had enough. Don't even cross me. I have the Marchetti from the Mystic Palette. So yes, there's the exhaustion. Just about ready to. And then of course with the Heaven and Earth, I have the wounded individual with the bandage and everything on their head. And with the Colette Baron Reed, she didn't like using really any like darker images or anything to make people uncomfortable with reading the tarot. So she did the Nine of Fire, which is the Nine of Wands, and they're not battle weary, but she's studying the stars. She's taking her time looking at the stars, and some of them actually turn into like little elemental fireflies. So it's interesting how her perception of I'm just going to see if I can find really quick, because some of these authors like to, and this is about caution, uncertainty, and reevaluating circumstances. So questioning yourself is good. So it says here, I will look carefully to see if a different path might be right for me at this point. So allowing the inner wisdom to guide. So yeah, she's looking at the stars. At, the elementals are with her. She's just not battle weary, but yeah, she's studying those
Well, if you
stars.
study the stars, there might be like a overabundance to study, so it may take a toll to get to where you're finally looking for what
And
constellation.
she's hanging them from her hand, so it's a weight. It probably, yeah, it's going to take a while. But I just really love the look on her face in this deck with the Tail of Dewey. It's just like she's been there, she's done, she's had. It's like, don't cross me, and she's holding on to that. And then she's got
Well,
the ones behind her.
even with the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords being, not totally happy cards, the promise of completion is near. So once you get past this challenge, you get to the fulfillment of the suit.
Tom, you are purple and you are upside down.
Let me
That
go
means
all the way out.
his internet's getting spotty.
And I'm stuck. Okay, let me.
Good thing you guys are on here, because if it were just me, I would be like, I don't even have a card to show you.
What you got, Jeff? Anything you want to share?
No, I want to reiterate though that we're talking about how the cards to the right and left can inform a lot, especially when like completion is coming. And I think that the ones to the right and to the left, depending upon what they are, have an effect about what the challenges are, especially if you're doing a 3-card read, the one on the left. And a lot of times the connotation of a lot of these cards at the cusp of like 9 and 10 can be read even if they're in the center in a very positive or negative way. So you really have to rely heavily on your intuition, but moreover what is to the right and left of them, because like for instance, like this card here, she's got it like all. She's got all of the resources that she needs. It's right there to do what she needs to do, but she still feels, if you look at her face, that it's not enough. You know what I mean? And that's like the 9 of Pentacles. And like if you read the 8 of Pentacles, you've taken stock, you've done all the work. You want to think that this means something. I mean, even if you're not looking at cards of a different suit that are to the left and right of it. But I mean, I think even here is an instance where, if you put something like another card next to it, like the Hermit, let's say, well, let's do, for the sake of argument, something other than a 9. Let's do like a 7 of Swords, and you put that next to it, the connotation completely changes for me. Like, to me, not being truthful to yourself or self-sabotaging yourself, even if the resources and your own abilities reflect that you're capable of doing something. To me, it's like self-sabotage. You know what I mean? Like, I just think like the 9 card is so strong.
When you say that she's not satisfied, it makes me think of the 4 of Pentacles, the miser. It's like never enough. There could,
or maybe she's content with what she's got in some cards. She looks happy.
Yeah. Well,
it depends. I mean, she's got a slight smile, but it's sort of a frown to me. Like when I look at this, I see frown. Like maybe the way it comes off at the reflection of it through the camera. But like depending upon how I'm reading it, or if I see it on a reading on YouTube, to me it looks kind of frownish.
Yeah, she looks a little tired, a little weary. Like, some decks they show her happy, and like with this one here, she's more solemn. There's no real joy, in her face. So
when I look,
that makes sense. Thanks,
when I look at the Queen of Pentacles, I also see some forlorn in there. It's like, yes, I've got this coin in my hand, but no, I don't have the love of the king.
Yeah, she's got her head down and she's like this.
Yeah.
And she's got, or even in the Queen of Cups too, she's got it in there. She doesn't know if she should release it.
Yeah, she's hiding her true
Yeah.
emotions. Yeah.
Hey, Amanda, just the sushi popped in. Hello, my dear. So
I'm sorry I don't have a card ready to show you, Michelle. But,
I was just reading something else about the Hermit card, though, that describes the star. Well, it says things that you have already said. He depicts an old man standing alone at the peak of the mountain while holding a lantern and a staff. The mountain denotes accomplishment, development, and success. The Hermit tarot card refers to the level of spiritual knowledge that he has attained and is ready to impart that knowledge to everyone. There is also a deep commitment he has to his goal and a solid awareness of the path that he's taking. Inside the lantern, you will notice a star with 6 points, which is also known as the seal of Solomon. The symbol represents wisdom. The staff that he holds depicts authority and power. So if it's the Merkaba star, the seal of Solomon, I'm not sure, but they are saying it's that, and it represents wisdom. So it's something else to check out,
Mm-hmm. Now, Tom, are we still on 9 of Wands? Or are we moving on?
we're going to go to the cups now.
Sorry, I can't follow with you because I don't have cards, so I'm just kind of reading other things. Sorry, I apologize.
No, you're fine.
So our 9 of Cups is our...
Oh, wait. Actually, I apologize. I thought you said we weren't pulling out all the 9s, Hershe said. I'm confused. I have 9s in my book.
So we often refer to this as the wish card. Emotional satisfaction, contentment, and the fulfilling of desires. So not at a loss of emotions there. We're happy and content with what we have.
For my Tarot de Louis, they actually, because I use fairy tale and folklore for the cards, they actually have her with the frog prince. Is she going to kiss him, and is it going to bring her happiness? She's got the good luck. She's got the clover. The only thing I don't understand in the imagery on this deck behind her is a picture of the Virgin Mary and somebody else. I am not sure how that fits in. It didn't say in the book, but I wanted to bring something that's total a different perspective of the cards. For my Heaven and Earth, beautiful again, emotions overflowing, joyful. It says here material happiness. So there's that overflowing joy. On Marchetti's, the wine glass, toasting everybody outside a winery or a pub. Very nice. And then for the Klepper and Reed, I love how she put 9 of water, and for it's a mermaid with diamonds, and so that's her happiness, or kind of all the gems and the jewels that are floating in the water, and she's appreciating, kind of like a card of appreciating, and satisfaction and contentment, So those
For
are
me,
my waters,
For me, when this comes through, like there's really no grin on his face. It's not like gloating. But with his hands folded, there's an element of complacence. Like, this is what I have. This is what I've got. It's not what you have. It's what I have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fulfillment, but fulfillment in a way to the detriment of almost someone else, to me, depending upon how you're viewing it. I mean, because everything's on display in back of him. All the cups are upright. And he's, got his feet outward. So he's like very, very proud, very, very stout in a way. He's kind of portly.
He's standing guard of that. And
right.
He's not letting people, it's a showpiece.
Exactly.
He's not going to share it with people. It's the Bill Cosby
Really?
child card. Mine,
Mm-hmm.
mine,
I don't get that.
mine.
Okay.
Or it
That's
can
the
be
cups you're saying,
a
right?
Putin card, yeah. Or it can be
Yeah.
a Putin card in politics. I know you guys don't read it that way, but I read it that way. It
The
is my
the
Putin card.
oligarchs,
Yeah.
Yep.
Putin and the oligarchs.
Hmm.
Now this one here, though, the cups are all in front of him. It's interesting. Instead
Oh,
of
I
being
love
in the
that.
back, here it's all in the front. So here it's almost like saying, material happiness, come share, in my wealth, sort of. Or
I
look
love
what I
that
have created,
depiction.
but it's not behind him, it's in front of them. So that's an interesting
Well,
perspective.
in
You can
this
go,
book,
Tamara.
it doesn't talk about anything like you were saying. I guess it's always your interpretation, but about like kind of greed. It's just it mentions the Nine of Cups is a wish card, as in the comes up, you may just get your wish and things are going great. You're right where you need to be. It's time to enjoy the experience and satisfaction with the blessings, but be sure to appreciate your blessings with gratitude. That's the crucial part of abundance and can lead to even more positive results. In the reverse, it serves as a cautionary card to avoid getting complacent, and you may be taking your relationships and family for granted. And the mindset can cause damage later. So don't overindulge and get carried away just because something seems great on the surface. So, I mean, I didn't get what you guys, but then again, this picture on here is just cups. I don't know if you could see. It doesn't have a person. Can't see, huh?
No, it's a pip card.
Yeah.
I
I don't
like
know.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Can't see. Yeah, whatever. I mean, so I don't have it with a person in there. Yeah. I can see what you mean, how he's like proud. Or I don't know. He could be guarding it.
Just
Yeah,
like
and
the mermaid's
Pride
guarding
goeth
her
before a
treasure
fall.
chest with her jewels. Yeah. Hey, sorry, Tom.
if it were reversed, it would definitely mean what you said about complacence, though. I think it would probably be better because that's when you're kind of abdicating, or you're not standing in your abundance by sharing it with other people. So maybe you're not taking stock of the fact that it is material and not thinking of the collective. So maybe it could be saying, if it were reversed, what's mine is not yours, blah, blah, blah. And you might be triggered by that depending upon, again, what you're reading, on what you're
Yeah.
reading, you know?
Taking things for granted and just expect thinking you don't have to put in the work still, you know?
Yeah, we're just sort of comparing, contrasting, the what the nine is in the hermit
This is fun.
and the other things.
Contentment. Yeah, my book here mentions, know that contentment will be yours and that worries are in the past because you've worked hard to build, those cups, your wishes, your garden, so to speak, your wealth. And some people sometimes feel like they don't deserve to have that type of um, like that self sabotage again. They don't feel like they deserve to have, you know, um, what they have because whatever how they may feel about themselves or how they see the world or whatever. And so it's being that being not gluttonous and proud of or being um like you say, gluttonous, being standoffish and showing off, but it's just being like, yes, I am allowed to have this. I am allowed to be happy. I am allowed to be content. I am worthy of this, so to speak.
And people born of entitlement that don't have to work
Nepotism, yeah.
for for their gains, um, don't know the satisfaction that comes from the work derived of getting there. It's just they want more and more because they feel entitled. It's the ugly Karen syndrome or the ugly Ken syndrome.
I feel bad for the Karens. Someone had to come up with a better name. Jeez. Um, But with the Nine of Swords, with the Tarot de Louis, it's really interesting. There's no swords, but she is curled up, bent over in tears inside a jewelry box with a busted window, with a busted mirror, jewelry box, or maybe even makeup container. And so it's cracked. You know, the view of who she thought she was, or her how she sees herself, is cracked. She's unhappy to see that the mirror is cracked. It's
Overwhelming
not.
sadness and grief.
Yeah. For the Marchetti, she's surrounded by, you know, the swords, can't get away. But it's interesting, instead of looking down or away, she's looking right at the person, you know, looking right at the reader. Um, then of course I have, you know, the traditional despair and cruelty, um, with the heaven and earth. And then here we go with Colette Baron Reed taking a different approach, the Nine of Air, being surrounded by a flock of birds, kind of like on that precipice. Her wings are open. Maybe she's afraid to fly, and all the birds are flying around her, saying, "Come on, you can do this. Don't be afraid. You can do it." But they're afraid to take that leap of faith, and the
The,
fear that's holding her back. So
the failure to fledge card.
This interpretation of the Nine of Swords is pretty like intense. Their only thing they said is it's associated with poor mental health, overwhelming sadness and grief. If you don't have anyone to talk to about what's causing your inner pain, you need to find someone right now. A shared burden is a little easier to carry. It helps to have support. Talk to a trusted friend or family member so you don't have to deal with things alone. In reverse, it's very similar to the upright interpretation, is that it indicates you need to reach out for a hand up when you're down in the pit. However, a reverse Nine of Swords is stronger. It means you may need a professional level of intervention. Don't be afraid to ask for assistance getting back on track. If you're thinking about harming yourself or others, make the call for help right away. So it got pretty
that's
like
very important.
intense in regards to like it could mean many other things. I get it, but
And I would suggest anybody who's doing professional reads have a list of resources that if a person appears to you that they need more help than just a deck of cards can offer, you know, you need to have some resources
yeah, there's probably national
available
numbers,
for them.
you know,
Yeah,
that they can reach out to.
But make
right.
sure that the people are open to that, because if some people are very touchy about mental health, and if you do any sort of implying that you may, you know, may need additional help, some people will, you know, it's really, that's why it's just like I wish mental health would be more mainstream, because it is
Yeah.
so important. There's so much stigma towards people who do have
Well,
mental health, and people don't realize everyone has it, and we all need to have, you know, and cultivate a healthy mental health, especially with the
It's
world we live
actually a
in.
good it's
Yes.
more of a positive thing when you're reaching out for help. It's a good thing. And but there's many people who don't even know how to start to get it. Our insurance system, everything makes it so complicated on where to go. So
Hmm.
you're right. It needs to
so
be talked about more.
so the promise of this card is if you can get your thoughts in control, you're in a comfortable bed. You can be warmed by that blanket and rest and relax. So if you can get the monkey brain to stop, or you can write all those thoughts down on a list of to-dos, you know, there's a better outcome
Hmm.
than staying up all night thinking things over and over and rehashing.
And what I love that Colette writes in here is that I forgive myself because I know I am a human trying the best I can. I need only call on spirit to remember that I can and will do better as new possibilities begin to gather on my horizon. So it's from shifting negative self-talk to self-compassion, and from fear to possibility. So I
What
love
I
how she puts
see,
a positive spin on the cards.
yeah, what I see is at its best, it's a dark. Well, it's the dark night of the soul at its worst, meaning it's going to repeat itself over and over, not just for one night. but
Right.
there is the dusk before the dawn, and there's the night before the dawn.
Right.
So depending again, I think what's next to it, or even beyond that, what the context is, you could minimize its meaning, or you could totally blow it up.
Right.
I think it's again another one of those issues of what is next to it, but the whole completion issue is so key because
Is
it informs how bad the card is. The context
right.
of the card is informed by what's next to it.
Is it going to be the Scarlett O'Hara card? Well, I don't need to think about that tonight. After all, tomorrow's another day.
Right. That's a
And go to bed.
minimization of it. Or, yeah.
Or, oh my gosh, the world is ending, you know.
Mhm.
And Tom said the key to remember in the RWS Nine of Swords, the swords are tidy and in place on the wall. The message is that the worst is over. You are near completion and 100%, Jeff, he said.
Thank you.
And Amanda says that this house makes me feel that way with the Nine of Swords. I'm like, yep, me too, Amanda. So we're both kind of in that same,
Oh, we didn't go
space there.
I didn't get there.
But
Well,
I
we
just
did get
really
there, didn't
love
we?
how they reinterpret some of these cards. You really need to know your tarot when you work with this deck, but when you do, and you can look at the difference in symbolism. And but just I love that cracked mirror, being that distortion, things not looking like you thought it was going to be, and it's cracked now. What am I going to do? And being in absolute tears. But when you're down on the bottom, there's only one way up, right?
I think we touched on this on an earlier card, right?
Yeah, Jeff brought up the pentacles. So yep, we've done the pentacles.
Okay. So the number 9 in the
Oh, we lost Tom again.
Oh, no.
The internet gremlins. He will be back, our fearless leader.
Yes, our fearless teacher.
So I'm going to put these cards all back, make room, pull out my moon cards, and let's see, making sure I can connect with. So let's see, we are going to change Heather's mind on Crowley. We'll see. I actually, that was the first introduction to tarot for me, was in high school. I had there was this lady who was part of a local poetry group, and she came to our high school and let the teachers know that if any of the students were interested in exploring poetry or creative writing, she would be there. And me and another fellow classmate, John, we were like, yeah, we both love to write poetry. And so we went, and her introduction was she had the Thoth deck, and she told us to look through the cards and see which card spoke to us the most. And this is really interesting, Thomas. You'll love this. And so I picked the High Priestess. And to me, when I looked at the High Priestess, it made me think of all people, Princess Leia. I named my my poem Organa, and wrote, I can't remember what I wrote. It was all those years ago, but that energy of the High Priestess and the robes and the light and everything and the power and the confidence made me think of her. I titled it Organa, and I wrote a poem about it. So that was my first introduction to Thoth. I actually had the deck, but then, like I said, when I learned about Crowley and and how he worked with a lot of shady stuff and not so great things, and then there was that rumor with the children, that kind of turned me off, and I gave my my deck away. I gifted it, but I might go back just for the art. We'll see how things change.
I have a question. How did the Nine of Swords relate with the Hermit?
just numerology, 9 and 9.
Okay, so not necessarily. Okay.
Not
Well-
tied, not married.
Well,
Okay.
well, you can look at it though. The Hermit goes is introspection and looking within and making sure you don't isolate yourself. And with the Nine of Swords, that could be a way of isolating yourself. You're in bed, you can't sleep, you're just worrying about everything, and you could be isolating yourself from.
It's just dealing
others,
within
from sleep.
issues within or something.
Yes, that could very well.
Mind
yeah.
over matter. things.
Solitude.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
Great question, Michelle.
When I can follow along, I got good questions.
Hi, Leah. You have a great peaceful holiday too. Thanks for popping in. Hopefully you can stay for a few. We're
Hi,
about to move
Leah.
on to the moon.
Ooh, the moon.
To me, one of the most, maligned cards on the whole deck. I just love the moon. It's all for me, it's like the high priestess. It's all about intuition, the divine feminine, the goddess. Allowing her to show the light within the shadows of yourself and helping you to grow and to protect, as she shines at night. So for me, it's always been a very positive card. Um, the Talo de Louis, beautiful. There's a temple with the full moon. For the Chiro Marchetti, this is one of my favorite moons ever. I just love how, for me, it feels almost like High Priestess. There she is. She's connecting with the water. There's the wolf and the dog and the moon. I just absolutely like the wolf, the wisdom, the connection and understanding of the moon and watching it in the sky and how the wolves and the dogs and the packs would move and be able to hunt and travel together. Another moon, beautiful moon cards from the heaven and earth. I actually had a dog that was a whippet mix, so to me it reminds me of, like, I have my little Lilu here, and we're wolf people here too. Shan and I, we love wolves. And then my favorite moon card on my deck that I brought is the Colette Baron Reed. I just love the moon in this deck. It's just beautiful. It's about blessings to me. Shining light, giving blessings, connecting with your intuition, the dream time. You know, paying attention to your emotions. To me, it's a very empowering card, and not such the
Hmm.
dark negative connotations that some people will associate with it, about things are being hidden from you, people are creeping in the shadows, da, da, da. For me, it's a lot more to
I
it
think
spiritually than that.
I think because of that, that's why it's one of the most misunderstood and hard ones to understand because of what you said at the end there about what's in the shadows. I mean, if it's upright, to me it's about doing the soul work and it's about finding out what those hidden truths are or what those
Mhm.
secrets are. But if it's reversed, it's the secrets have already come out. Or it can be about paranoia if it's reversed, or it can be about like
But
something might have just come to light that only some people know or but it's not revealed to everyone else yet. It's a
yes.
very hard card, I think, because in a lot of cases it can be very vague.
Sometimes we can be our own deceivers. We're
Mm-hmm.
fooling ourselves. Um, so
This description, I could see where it could relate with the hermit, and it tells me it's more about relying and trusting your own instinct, going within and figuring out. Um, it's as if you see the moon card, it's a watch for development of dormant psychic abilities. The moon can represent hidden messages and deception, as well as imagination and intuition. Things are not always as they seem on the surface. So when this card appears, they trust your instinct, especially when it relates to trauma and fear from your past. When it appears in reverse, it could be a sign that your intuition and psychic abilities have been blocked or repressed in the past, but you've been dealing with the blockages and repression and are trying to heal. While things may not make sense right now, take time to listen to your own instinct rather than let others exert undue influence upon you. Soon you will find the right path to take and be more open to the messages the universe is sending. So I could definitely see how it ties into the hermit.
so
And
we have a crayfish or lobster
Crawfish.
coming out of the
Uh-huh.
water. Then we have a path between the domesticated dog and the wild wolf or coyote. And so that's the dual conscious subconscious. The crayfish coming out of the ground is the subconscious.
And those are two towers on the side of it?
Yes.
I see them as nuclear reactors, but yeah, they're towers. I don't know why I always see them as
And then I don't know if you can see in the sky.
They're not in the
but
shape of the boobies because they look like boobies in California, Pensacola.
so these are yods. It's another Hebrew letter that stands for God.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is
Exactly. Early ritual.
She grew up in
intuition.
the 80s, Jeff.
Intuition is a gift to all, but only unlocked by some.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why things are hidden in the moon.
Now for
Also,
Colette
too,
Baird
I
Reed.
think that with the high priestess, what Heather said, that duality between the negative and the positive, like if in this card, if it's upright, it's silent. If it's reversed, it's loud. And in the connotation that the moon has, if it's reversed, are the negative ones, like paranoia, the secrets that have come to light that you don't want out, all those things. And that's why I think there's a lot of parity between this card and that card. And I think probably the Hermit too, because if you do that inner soul work, sometimes you don't want those things released to other people, So again, I think your intuition relies, unintended, given that this is about intuition too, with that pearl, the pearl of wisdom. A lot of it plays off of that too. So then that's why there's so much likeness between the two, and they're misunderstood cards. Because a lot of people, when they think the high priestess, they think bitch. They think it's some type of, or voodoo, or you know what I'm saying? And it's not.
And with the moon here, it has to do with illusion. She named it Colette Baron Reed with the one I just shared with this one here. And she goes, I may not see the workings of spirit in the invisible realms, but I know there is great activity behind the scenes. It's important to trust the mystery and remember that the material realm is an illusion. Current conditions are not necessarily a reflection of the truth of what's really going on in the present. Now, this is what I love about the card at the end when she finishes. Great opportunities lie in the shadows, awaiting the perfect time for illumination. So again,
There it is.
intuition, connecting the wisdom of the book of the high priestess, connecting with your, the intuition and the hidden knowledge, the hidden secrets. And I don't have the deck with me, but with my Tina book, I just love the card that they did for the moon, and that's this one right here.
Mhm.
They did a really beautiful, and I love how they use some like obelisks from ancient Egypt. So for me, that's a really nice, really a very basic but graphic, but it's a gorgeous card. And then this one deck I have, it's just the wolf sideways with the beautiful moon on it, just really a nice representation. So that's what I got. I'm sticking to it.
Mhm.
It says here, though, too, in Tina's book, examine your desires, your motivations, and the role of others. So that's another, and that consider how your internal landscape shapes the experience. So again, with the mental health, with the moons, because the moon does affect the waters. It affects our emotions, especially as women, um, but it does affect men as well. So paying attention to the moon and what cycles it's in, and see how you're feeling, and be able to understand when certain cycles start coming up. If you start feeling a certain way, study the moon. The moon is a great tool. It's a great teacher. You know just like the lantern, the light of the moon, the light in the lantern, it can guide us and reveal things to us, that we aren't aware of. And now I'll be quiet.
Ooh, it says the towers on the opposing ends represent the forces of good and evil, and their similarity in appearance can allude to the difficulties that we face in distinguishing between them.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's an interesting book.
No, well, this is on, I looked, it's not the book. I looked it up on the website.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being with me today. We have on top the cat lovers, first on bottom the dog lovers.
Mhm.
But we're not going to pit
I like cats
anybody who
too.
loves
I'm a kitty
animals
lover.
is a
Jeff,
good
you have a dog?
is
Yep.
good. Yeah,
I
he's
do.
so.
I used to have dogs too. They're in heaven.
Is it a full collie, border collie, or
Yep.
Sheltie?
Sheltie.
Oh, Sheltie.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so cute. I
Mhm.
love Shelties. I love all animals.
I love to. I mean, I had the last
Especially the
animal I had
kitties.
was a black cat, and then after I had to put her down, I wasn't gonna get any more. But this dog came from my dad, but he paired with me, and
Oh,
I couldn't leave him. He saved me, like they say. It's so true. But he paired with me,
yeah.
and so we're stuck together.
And I actually had Mark Atha, who's
Huh.
the whisper,
And
spirit
his
whisperer, told me that one of my fur babies, my doggy, is waiting to come back to me. So our babies reincarnate too to us. So you never know. That might be Kitty that came back to you as
right.
Kitty.
That I
You never
know.
know.
Exactly. It might be Shade
Oh,
as
so
well. Her name was Shade.
cute.
Huh.
Oh,
They're part of the soul family too.
yeah.
So
They're angels.
I'm learning all this stuff.
Yep, they're part of the angelic realm for sure.
Mhm.
All I know is that before I started on this path out here, because I've always I've always known growing up, I mean, I'm 46, so there's been many years where I've been feeling like I just know things in my, but it's now I'm finally
Mhm.
trying to learn and explore it. I'm not as afraid of it anymore. So, but he's always had these deep brown eyes and he looks at me so serious that when I'm about to do something I shouldn't be doing, or maybe a poor choice,
I love it.
sometimes I'm like, don't look at me, mom. Like, are you in there, mom? And he has I know he's a spirit guide now. I know he's a guide. He
Yeah,
just
all of
looks
them
at
are.
me.
Yeah. Who rescues who?
He's so
The old saying
serious
goes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So anyone who's in our chat who would like to come on with us tomorrow, just email me at tarotyourway@gmail.com and I'll send you a link to come in during the drop-in tomorrow. We're going to be on 3 hours. Don't feel that you have to be here all 3 hours. I want to try
Says that you're doing that.
I want to try to keep the cacophony down to at most 6 on the screen at one time.
That's a lot of people. Yes.
It is.
It can be quite the challenge.
Yeah. Since I have you to watch the chat while I'm running my banners here during the education portions. Tomorrow's a free for all, and it does get sort of octopus like being an operator.
Multitasking. You can do it, Tom.
All 20 of us in here at max.
Yeah, I'll definitely. Hey, Johnny. Good to see ya. I will be joining at some point. Oh, that's cool, Tom. Yeah, I'll be joining them too.
I'll show off. This is the other book I found. This is one that Hershe wants. The green signs, symbols of the world. And then I found this too. I grabbed it. I don't know. So it's all about coat of arms and all the different
Oh, wow.
I figured you never know when something like this might. I don't know.
Are you going to sell me a 1 square inch plot in Scotland so I can
have you
put up
you can be a lord.
my heraldry?
Yeah, watch those. Some people have been having issues with that. Problems with because the Y-Files used to promote that, AJ and stuff. And I guess there were some people were trying to find their plots or something, and it wasn't. It was, but yeah, it's cool. You could be if it is legit, it's awesome. You can be the lord or lady. It could be an official title. You get the document, even if it's just this much land.
Michelle, I think there's some shade being thrown your way.
Somewhat.
Shade.
From who?
All these books and still no tarot, Michelle.
Oh. She's got to wait for the right deck to find her.
I just
Hi,
got the
Jackie.
books yesterday,
Happy Christmas.
and I was I mean, I figured, what is the rush? It'll come to me when it comes to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Heather, we'll talk later.
Jackie.
You never answered my email.
No, I'm just gonna have to wait until after the holidays, and I'll get.
Well,
it to
yeah,
you
but
next month.
I could send. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, it's fine. They're all good, girl. Hello, Jackie, and so Tom, let me know when you think you're going to jump on, and I'll join you, and I'll jump on with Hershey and Thomas, and because I like Tom. He's cool. We like the same music. Tom was bringing something up. He's like, yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, but thank you again, Thomas, for having me on. I enjoy this very much.
I like how you mentioned that one interview. I forgot, I was gonna go check it out and share it with my friend Roger, who loves, like, I've been to so many concerts with him. But you talked about it when you were doing your own little pop-up. I don't know if it was you were showing off a deck of cards, Heather, but you talked about you had just got done watching an interview with somebody, and they talked about his charity, and I forgot who it was now. I'll have to check.
No,
it was with.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I can't remember my mind.
Yeah.
Once we hang up, I'll be like, oh yeah. Okay, but I'm gonna check that out. And it was about a musician and an old, like, a TV reporter. Anyways.
Okay. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here. I'm old.
Okay.
Oh, I'm getting older. Excuse me.
I'll search your videos. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, like I said,
maybe
there's.
you're meant to make your own deck, Michelle. Amanda suggested. Yeah.
Well, there is in this book, handy dandy book, they do talk about about choosing a deck, and it's probably gonna repeat everything that everyone's told me so far. So I'm not looking for any new information, but it does talk about that, and it does talk about, can you make your own deck? So, but what I love about it too is it talks about protecting your cards, crafting your own storage bag, a simple card cleansing ritual, a brief overview of choosing the deck and history of of tarot, basics, myths and misconceptions, and about how to connect. So a lot of things that you guys have already told me, though, don't get me wrong, but it's good to reference back, because there's a lot of information at one time is overwhelming, and I forget. And so it's a good thing to be able to flip to it and, okay, am I doing this right? Or I know that's no right or wrong either, but in regards to making sure I bless them and I keep them protected and stuff like that, it's where I want to make sure I do that,
Well, got a good head on your shoulders, so there you go. And protection.
Thank you much.
Ooh, and I smell coffee.
I have great teachers and friends that I've met in this community. So.
Oh, very nice. Yep, we're here to support and uplift each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. And learn as well from each other, because I mean, I do see how everybody is, I mean, everyone has their own talents and their own abilities. And so it's not a jack of all trades, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's good I'm telling you, it's the Care Bears, the Care Bear stare. We're the Care Bears.
Oh my God, I love the Care Bears.
So when we need to work together, we all have our symbols, we're all our abilities, and we link together and we'll defeat the evil.
And our own styles of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
I keep going back to that. They live in the clouds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you, chatters, for being with us. And
thank you,
I hope you
chatters.
learned a little bit about the Hermit today. Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and go out and make it a great day. See you tomorrow
Bye.
at
Bye,
noon
everybody.
Happy holidays.
Bye, everybody.
if you're free.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.